So I'm really excited to introduce you all to some of the young people who are employed in our Youth Works program. 83 young people will be working throughout the city, 14 to 21 years of age, getting various experiences. So I thought it would be great to have you all, have them share with you some of the things that they're doing. Jason Perkin-Cohens is also here. He is the MOED director who actually helps to get all of our employers and so forth together, and our employees. So, Jason, did you want to say a few words first?
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Oops. Thank you for that, too. Don't lose my notes. Well, thank you for the introduction and for all you do to support Youth Works, but especially thank you for driving us to move forward. You will appreciate this more than anyone. Today we're going to be talking about financial education and some of the new things that we're doing. And we have some young people who are not here today, but who are making a video to introduce the pay card system that we'll be using. And the video, and I haven't seen the video, I saw it this morning, it's not finalized. It's not ready for prime time, but I did see a draft of it. And the video starts with a young woman, a teenager, a Youth Works participant, looking in the camera and saying, why aren't we getting paper checks anymore? It's the future, baby. So I can't really say it any better than that.
It's the future, man.
It's the future
stuff.
It's the future.
Okay. Right. It is the future, so they say.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so thank you again for pushing us forward. You all know about Youth Works. Youth Works is is the mayor's summer jobs program. We'll have over 8,000 young people working this summer, but it's a lot more than just a summer job. And that's what's so great about Youth Works is all the different opportunities it provides. And one of them is around financial education. So again, Madam Mayor has been pushing us forward to not just stick with the status quo, that is the safe thing to do, but instead what we're doing is we're moving forward with pay cards. So since the beginning of time, we have paid young people with paper checks. And we could continue doing that for the end of time. We know how to do it, young people know how to receive them, but it's not the right thing to do. And the reason it's not good is because how would a young person cash that check? And unfortunately for a lot of young people, they would have to go to a check casher, which will charge a fee. So that's one very bad thing. They're losing money right out of their check. And then a second thing that's bad about it, of course, when you go to a check casher, they give you all the money, right? You can't get a bit of it. They give you all of it, which is not safe. Most of us don't walk around with hundreds of dollars in our pockets for a reason. And then the third reason, there's that expression about burning a hole in your pocket, or burning a hole in your wallet. One of the reasons why most of us don't take out large sums of money is because we know that we're much more likely to spend it, and the research shows that as well. So this year, for the first time, every young person will get a pay card. It looks just like the debit card that's in your pocket, and it'll have their name on it. It'll have a unique number, just like your debit card does. We'll be distributing those debit cards either this week or the beginning of next week. The first payday for young people who started work on June 26th is July 21st. So they get paid for 2 weeks. That 2-week period ends July 7th, and they'll be paid on the 21st. They'll get this debit card, and then it works just again like your debit card works. So we'll be giving it to them, but when they initially get it, there'll be no money on the card because it doesn't start until the 21st. That's when they get paid. All they have to do is, we're giving them cards early so that we make sure that every young person gets a card. If there's any slip-ups, we have time to adjust it. And then they just call an 800 number, they establish a PIN, and then on July 21st, their first payday, they can take that card and use it at an Allpoint or a CVS, put the card in, put their PIN in, and they can find out what their balance is, they can withdraw money, they can also use it at retail stores, grocery stores, and it's the right thing to do. It's a great way for young people to know how to use their money. So we're really excited about it. Again, we can't thank you enough for setting all this up. And I do want to introduce
Yes.
Courtney Battle from the Baltimore Cash Campaign, who's a critical part.
All right, Courtney.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Courtney Battle, and I'm the Director of Financial Capability with the Cash Campaign. And we are actually a statewide organization. We serve over 20,000 families every year, primarily with our free tax preparation services. So you've probably seen our slogan on bus ads, earn it, keep it, save it. And we're really excited to be partnering with Youth Works. This year, we've been working really closely with Jason and with John Smeaton and the OED staff to help increase the financial capability of the young people throughout the city. So we're really excited about this payroll card, and we've actually sort of jumped on the Youth Works bandwagon this year as well by hosting our first Youth Works participant. Her name is Taisha McLean, and she's here with me today, and she's serving as our first ever money mentor. And Taisha is really the perfect fit for our organization. She is a student at University of Baltimore studying accounting. And she is using her time this summer to help teach financial education classes to a handful of YouthWorks participants throughout the city. And then she's also going to be working with us after the kids get their payroll cards to do some follow-up and some focus groups and some surveying of students to figure out how is this working for them. Also encouraging them to set aside some of their income for savings and for future goals. So again, we're really excited to be partnering on this program and to continue to support YouthWorks and the mayor's initiatives around financial capability moving forward so that we can help build the financial security of the folks in our city. We know that income insecurity is really a root of a lot of the issues that we have in the city, and so we want to start with our young people and help them establish a strong financial footing in their early years.
So why don't we have the young people introduce themselves and say where they're working? Start with you.
Hi, my name is Lawrence. I work with the Mayor's Office of Employee Development. I go to a military school in Virginia, and yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hi, my name is Maya Graham. I work at the Mayor's Office of Employment Development, and I go to the Catholic High School of Baltimore.
Good morning, my name is Tasha McLean. I'm a money mentor at the Baltimore Cash Campaign. I currently attend the University of Baltimore studying accounting. Thank you.
You get some 14-year-olds. Go ahead.
Good morning, my name is Anaya.
Ouch, you on my toe.
Don't worry, you're not the first person.
Join the crowd. Go ahead.
Good morning, I work at the Mayor's Office of Employment Development. My name is Anaya, and I'm homeschooled.
Good. All right.
Good morning, I'm Devin Harris. I go to Patterson High School and I work at Mayor's Office of Employment Development.
Oh, so Jason brought his whole staff over. We got to bring some of those private sector young people over here because Jamie needs to see them as well.
Can we hear from Taisha?
Yeah.
Taisha, go ahead.
Can you spell your first and last name?
TYSHAEMCLEAN.
And what do you think you're going to accomplish this summer, and why did you want to participate?
With me studying accounting, I'm basically, just building my skills up for my intended career.
Did you grow up in Baltimore?
Yes, I did.
What part?
I grew up in West Baltimore. I actually attended Baltimore Polytechnic Institute.
And what's it mean to you to work with young people in your city and maybe pass on some of the stuff that you're learning?
It's great interacting with the kids and seeing how financial savvy they are and actually getting them to interact or encounter the programs that we have set in place for them.
And how old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay.
Wait, what year are you in college?
I'm going into my sophomore year.
Remember now, I introduced you all to the 15-year-old.
All right.
They moved fast. Thank
Any
you.
other questions about the program? Oh.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Jason, you can take the.
Yeah, Courtney,
You can take your set back to work.
C-O-U-R-T-N-E-Y, Bettle, B-E-T-T-L-E.
And what's your program?
We're the Cash Campaign, Baltimore Cash
Right here.
Campaign.
Right here.
Baltimore Cash Campaign, and I'm the Director of Financial Capability. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
What do you think about the teaching kids this financial literacy and all of the things wrapped around this program?
I think it's excellent. We want our young people to get off to a good start. I know that I do direct deposit, and one of the great things about direct deposit is that more money stays in than goes out. You don't, if it's in your hand, you're ready to spend it. And I think this gives them an opportunity to save, and I think with this kind of counseling, peer-to-peer counseling from an 18-year-old, telling you how you should save your money and what you can do with it, I think is really great.
Mayor, do you intend to meet with the developer of the Baltimore Renaissance anytime soon? And when will you?
Who is that?
Baltimore Renaissance, the project of the $10 million to develop in various different neighborhoods in Baltimore.
No, I don't meet with developers directly like that. They meet with my Director of Economic Development, and so he's already done that.
He's already met with them?
Yes, he has.
But he's requested other meetings with you?
I don't meet with folks when they're supposed to. There's a process. We have the Baltimore Development Corporation. If you're doing development in Baltimore, then you go meet with the development director. There's no need to meet with me. Okay.
It's my understanding that Yvette Monroe, who was running your information technology office, has left.
She was our interim director. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So this is the third person, I think, in almost as many years. What do you think about the status of the office and why it's been hard to keep somebody in charge?
Anytime the police department is using Lotus 1, 2, 3, we got a problem. You know, technology we need to invest in. We need people who think out of the box. We need forward-thinking people who understand the importance of different platforms. You know, this city is so far behind in technology advancement. You know, when we walked in here, one of the things I talked about was putting permits online. I mean, that's not something I should have had to ask for. You know, that's something that we should be doing. And so I need somebody that's a visionary, who understands that the future is technology and that we've got to change the way that we're doing business. You know, we have a tendency to want to do the same old thing the same old way. Obviously, some of the same old things that we've been doing the same old way aren't working. So you all know how I take my time when I'm looking for what I want in specific positions. I want people who think out the box. I want people who are visionary, who see beyond their positions. You know, it's not about the 4 years or the 8 years or whatever it is that I'm going to be here. It's about the 10, 15, 20 years down the road. We've got to start making those investments. We need those kind of people, and that's what I'm looking for. What you should know is that we do have a national search out for that position, and we've had, I know I've gotten at least 5 applications thus far, and I have started interviewing folks.
What role do you think MOIT can play in transforming the way city government works?
Well, they are the Mayor's Office of Information Technology, and they should be, I believe, in a coordinated effort. And what I've always talked about is how we collaborate. We should be looking at platforms across all of the agencies, and the Mayor's Office of Information Technology should be directing that. We should be making sure, I should not hear when I come to the Board of Estimates that somebody's looking at Lotus 1, 2, 3, or where's your mainframe, and we're not looking at cloud. I mean, it's just, we're just too outdated. So what that says to me is that this department needs to be scrubbed, there needs to be innovation, and there needs to be somebody who understands the future of technology in the city. We should be prepared to be one of the smartest cities in this nation. Part of that is how prepared are we for 5G? What are we doing with our conduit system? How we're allowing information to be transported from the mayor's office to the various agencies to the community, and that's what I want to see in city government.
And so how does somebody do that with so many of the financial struggles in the city?
Well, today it's public and private partnerships. I'm telling you, everybody's standing on the peripheral waiting for us to make a selection, whether it's going to be Verizon or whether it's going to be Comcast or whether it's going to be Google, whoever. These technology companies want to work with cities. I just left the U.S. Conference of Mayors, and everybody's trying to pitch us. But we've got to be prepared with the right person to be able to lead that. Even when you talk about lighting in the city and the technology that's out there today, we're not there. But we can get there, but we can only get there with the right people.
If I can ask one more question on that.
Surely.
Is there a project that you want MOIT to take on? They had, a few years ago, I tried to do a new 911 call center that really didn't work.
Well, you know why? Because they didn't, according to the city's charter, the phone system comes under the purview of the comptroller. And so we all have to work together. You know, I'm not talking to this department, I'm not talking to this department, or I don't talk to this person. It doesn't work. It's about how we collaborate. And so I want collaboration, and I want folks working together, but I want the right things for this city. And we can't, keep doing little piecemealing of systems together, just because they work for right now. We need to look at what can work for the future of the city.
The board approved, I think, $1.4 million today for the consent decree. And the biggest chunk of that, 800 and some thousand, is technology.
Right.
Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Can you provide any detail of that?
Yeah, well, what I asked the governor for was $2 million to improve technology in the police department. And that $2 million was for the consent decree specifically. So when I met with the governor, and I might as well share this as well, when I met with the governor, what I said is that we have a plan for reducing violence in our city. And again, most of you all have been sitting at the table with me, so you know that I'm very thoughtful in terms of what we're looking at. And we've looked around the country, what's working? What cities are reducing violence at the highest rate? And so we looked at, for example, Los Angeles, who's sustained violence reduction over the last 5 years from 2012 to 2017. And so what I said to the governor, we have some things, but some things we don't. For example, you all know now we have cameras on our police officers. We have video cameras around the city. We have some smartphones. We have ShotSpotter, but we don't have ShotSpotter focused on all of the areas where crime is at its highest. And so part of our violence reduction program is reducing violence in certain specific areas. So we have to expand. That itself, Jane, is about $600,000 in expansion for ShotSpotter. So we're looking at that. And then we don't have computers in the cars of all of our police officers.
I'm sorry. What is your response to the Public Safety Committee?
Wait a minute. Can I finish it? So we don't have. We have some of the computers we don't have the computers in the cars, and we don't have a system that communicates through our 911 system, ShotSpotter, and all of those other technologies that we're putting in place. And so those are some of the things that we have to focus on. So ShotSpotter would be among those. The computers in the cars would be among some of the monies that.
Did you talk to the governor about the governor cut funding of Safe Streets?
Mm-hmm.
Was there any discussion about that kind of initiative as well?
Well, we actually funded it, so I didn't have a discussion about Safe Streets. What I did have a discussion around was the cooperation of parole and probation. 80-some-odd% of the individuals who are involved in violent crime in our city are either on parole or have or on parole, been on parole, or parole violators. And most of them have been in contact with the criminal justice system at least 11 times. And so that says a lot about our systems that we currently have in place and our judges who keep suspending sentences. And I had that conversation with him as well. And he wants to have that conversation with the judges as well. But the cooperation that we need with the Office of Parole and Probation, which is what we've enjoyed for some time, but under a former police commissioner, a number of those parole and probation officers are no longer working in cooperation with our police department, because we used to have 2 in each district. We now only have 2 for the entire city. So the governor agreed that we should be collaborating and we should be looking at how do we spread that. And also the MTA, the MTDA, and the state police working with us to create a better presence.
So there were 2 parole and probation agents working in each district?
In each district.
Under which administration?
This was prior to the previous administration.
And that was eliminated? That was cut back?
Yeah, that wasn't cut back from the state. It was part of the city's, my understanding, it was part of the city's answer to having had to pick up someone who had a gun when they brought them in from probation. And I just don't think that that was the right response.
So what about the criminal justice, head of the criminal justice office? Yeah, I think Brandon Scott this past Monday at the public safety committee meeting, after 15 minutes, he seemed frustrated with not having someone as head of the criminal
Well, maybe he had some place to go.
Well, no.
Or to the bathroom or something. I don't know.
I mean, no, this is
because when you hold a public hearing and you ask people about a violence reduction plan, that responsibility is with the mayor's office and the police department.
So when
the MCCOJ is a policy position under the mayor's office. And as I said early on, I don't take any position in the city lightly. I look for the best and the brightest. And as you all well know, I think I just introduced, 4 new people to the city. And so, just hired our technical person for our Bloomberg team. And that the MOCJ position is a nationally being searched position, and no one gets to dictate when I hire people in the city.
He seems to think, though, that there is no plan for the city to reduce violence.
I think I just laid out a plan for you.
I know, and I understand. But well, are you going to be communicating that to the Public Safety Committee?
Let me be real clear. My office is open to city council people every Monday. They can make an appointment. They can come sit down. I hold lunch for them. So if there's a question that they have of the mayor, they get to ask those questions. So I don't know whether the cameras get you really excited. I don't know whether the cameras get you excited and you had a baseball game to go to, or a flight to catch, or the bathroom to go to. I don't know what happened. What I know was that I was in Annapolis meeting with the governor, sharing with him our violence reduction plan. So if anybody wants to know the violence reduction plan, they can sit down and have a conversation with me. It's that simple.
It seems like the representative of your office was not aware of what the plan was, did not have any documentation stating what the plan was.
You got that in 15 minutes?
That's what he said. He says, no, I don't
But
have
that's what he
document.
said.
That's what your representative said.
That's what he said. He's not my representative. He represents a specific district. I'm responsible.
I wasn't referring to Councilman Scott. I was referring to the representative from your office.
The head of city staff is that.
Well,
Yes.
city stat does not, that is not where the violence reduction plan emanates from. City stat is responsible for working with the police department to look at where violence is occurring in communities across the city. And then what city stat does is helps them to focus the resources on that area. That's not where the violence reduction plan comes from. The violence reduction plan is a plan that is prepared by the mayor and the police department.
Could you just follow up on that? The council chair was asking specifically about a resolution that was passed by the council earlier in the year that required a violence reduction plan with input from all agencies. And that, if Monday was supposed to be the hearing for that. Is there, on paper, a violence reduction plan?
There is.
Is it available?
I think they had it. He did not allow them to present it. It is done by the police department and the mayor's office.
But it's not done with input from all agencies.
City stat is where we meet as all agencies to make sure that our areas are focused on in terms of resources. But a violence reduction plan is prepared by the mayor and the police department.
The PowerPoint that they presented at this meeting was an update on the violence in Baltimore. It wasn't necessarily showing a step-by-step violence reduction plan as
Yeah, but I think you got 15 minutes of someone being frustrated who did not listen to the violence reduction plan. So, I mean, I'm not in Brandon Scott's head. And what I'm focused on is the entire city and how we reduce violence in our city. And as I said, we've looked around the nation to see what plans are really working. I've been at the U.S. Conference of Mayors. I've met with the Department of Justice, who are putting a lot of resources in this city. You know, in August, we will have the 2 consultants that work with the Los Angeles folks to help them reduce violence in their city. They are working right now in Chicago, helping them to reduce violence in their city. At the first week of August, they'll be in Baltimore.
So just back to my question about, is it publicly available?
I just shared with, in terms of the step-by-step, what we're using, what I shared with the governor is certainly available.
I mean, the people can see it, I mean, can read it. I think one of the issues that has come up and was raised not just by the chair of the committee, but others, is to have a plan that has measurable metrics.
Yeah, and that is exactly what we're doing. But what I'm saying to you is that part of what we need in terms of the measurable metrics, when I met with the governor, in terms of the technology that is needed, we don't have that. And so that's what we have to fund. And that's what I went to Annapolis to talk about, is the measurable metrics that we want to do in Baltimore City and how we need those systems in place so that we can be prepared in August when when the individuals the consultants who will be working with the Baltimore Police Department to help us to reduce violence.
So it's not a complete plan as of right now. So if we went to the governor to get that.
No, what the governor would share with you is the same thing that I've shared with you today, is that we have a plan. We need these consultants who implemented the plan in Los Angeles, working in Chicago. They will come here the first week in August, but there are certain tools that we need. And what I outlined for him is what we already have and what we still need. And so as we put those tools in place, and as I said to you all earlier, the technology in this city leaves a lot to be desired. You need to be able to measure success. You need to be able to communicate across areas. And when I talk about ShotSpotter only being in this narrow, specific corridor, and not wide enough for us to make a real dent in the violence reduction in our city. I mean, that's real.
So I know that making the gun laws stricter is something that you've talked about a lot. Is that something that you brought up to the governor? And
I did.
What was his response to that?
I did. His initial response is we have a lot of gun laws on the books and we need to make sure that we are enforcing those laws. And what I said to him is that it's not about the legal guns, it's about the illegal guns. And so he didn't rule it out, because what I said to him, and data that he did not have, was that, you know, so many of those who are committing crimes are committing them with illegal guns in our city. And I'm not concerned about the rest of the state. I know the conditions that Baltimore is facing, and we would still like to focus on an illegal gun piece of legislation for Baltimore City. He said didn't rule it out.
Yeah. I saw in the Board of Estimates that you're going to this inaugural Bloomberg program for mayors. Can you talk at all about what you'll be doing there, what some of your goals are for taking part in this program?
Well, one of the things about it is that we're looking at the future of cities. What new technologies are out there? How do we deal with the problems that we're facing, whether it's violence or unemployment? How are we promoting our cities? And whether folks know it or not, there are some great things happening in our city, especially around tourism. But how do you get that message out to the public? You know, not just to those you want to travel to your city, but those who live in your city, you know, about the things that are happening. 450,000 people came to Baltimore for Light Festival. The Inner Harbor was packed for the July the 4th weekend. There are festivals taking place all over our city. July 15th at the War Memorial Plaza, we're propping up all of our youth programs all across the city so that our youth know that there are things that they can do. So how are we messaging? I'm excited. I don't know everything that's on the agenda at the Bloomberg School for, the Harvard School for Mayors, but I'm looking forward to it. Okay, thank you everybody.